Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TMRP, the Metropolis Radio Podcast. And I know I'm coming a lot earlier in the week than I normally do, but this week we are actually looking at more recent news. And that recent news is basically the fact that Gina Carano has now been fired from The Mandalorian. Now, for those that don't recognize the name, and I wouldn't blame you if you don't know who Gina Carano is, she played the fan favorite character Cara Dune on The Mandalorian. That's how most people know her nowadays. I personally remember her from Strike Force, from her, MMA days, but, whatever. It's neither here nor there. And what we're going to be exploring is whether or not Star Wars and Disney can quote-unquote weather the storm at this point. Was firing a fan favorite character really the best idea, or is this decision going to come back to bite them in the ass? And more importantly, will this decision stand, or will it be reversed? And in case if you guys haven't done so already, subscribe to the YouTube channel and the BitChute channel, and all of the links to the social media pages that I'm on and other video hosting services are down below in the description. So with that out of the way, let's get right into this week's episode of TMRP. Alright guys, so just to show you how recent this is, this broke out on the 10th of February in 2021, in case if you're watching this sometime down the line. This comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter. The Mandalorian star Gina Carano fired amid social media controversy. Yeah, quote-unquote controversy. This was published at 6:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but let's get into the article. Gina Carano will not be returning to The Mandalorian or the Star Wars galaxy after sharing a post on social media implying that being a Republican today is like being Jewish during the Holocaust. I think Tim Allen made the same post a couple of years ago, and that was honestly pretty funny. Quote, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. A Lucasfilm spokesperson said in a statement, let me stress this, a Lucasfilm spokesperson, not Kathy Kennedy, not Pablo Hidalgo, not Bob Iger, not Bob Chapek, a Lucasfilm spokesperson. This bullshit right here is corporate speak for some random person working in the PR department made this announcement. It was not made by an executive at all. But getting back to the quote, nevertheless, her social media posts denigrated people based on their cultural and religious identities. And hold on, I misread that because I'm trying to put a bit of an accent to it. Yeah, nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. And by the way, guys, this one quote is all we have to go based on her firing. There has been nothing else has come out from either Lucasfilm themselves or the Walt Disney Company regarding this. Even as I'm recording it, I am checking for it. I'm going to check for it real quick just to make sure. Because I don't think that they have made... I don't think that they've actually... I'm seeing stuff from, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Yeah, nothing really... Yeah, nothing new. No statement from Kathy Kennedy, Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, nothing. And this was done on Monday, February 15, 2021 at 11:43 a.m. just in case if something does, in fact, come out later after this has been uploaded. But back to the article. She's also been dropped by her agency. Carano has also been dropped as a client by UTA. An agency spokesperson confirms. Again, another person working in the PR department. And for those that don't know, UTA is one of two major agencies for actors. I don't remember what the other one was called. I'm looking this up real quick because I'm spacing on the name. I know it starts with a W. And I can't seem to find. I think it's like WGME or something like that. I know I'm probably boring you guys to death by looking this up. No, that's a news network. Whoops. WME. I think that's the one that I'm trying to think of. Yes, that's the one that I'm thinking of. Okay, so yeah, there are two major acting agencies in Hollywood right now, and that is UTA. That's the United Talent Agency, and then you have another one called WME. And most of your quote unquote not even just your A-list, a lot of the actors that you're seeing on screen and on television right now are represented by either one or the other. Some are actually represented by both, which is kind of stupid, but that's neither here nor there. But back to the article. On Wednesday, the hashtag Fire Gina Carano was trending following an Instagram post from the outspoken conservative actor and former mixed martial artist that was met with severe backlash, quote unquote severe backlash. And I'll get into that in just a second. The post has since been deleted, but screenshots were widely shared by users on social media who called for her firing from the hit Disney Plus Star Wars show. Again, whenever you hear this, I always think of that quote from Bill Burr when he was on Conan, like back in like 2013, 2014, when they talk about, controversy at the comedy club, and you watch the clip and everybody is laughing, but it's the one fucking blogger that gets all offended. I'll try to link to that in the description down below. I'm not gonna intercut the audio because I don't want to give Turner any leg to stand on here. If I do remember to find it, I will put it down there so you can see it for yourself. And guys, people don't remember this, but they actually try the quote unquote Twitter people actually tried to do this to yet another person on The Mandalorian, and it wasn't that long ago, and they were actually trying to get Rosario Dawson fired. If anyone actually remembers, I think she gave an interview with Vanity Fair, and I'm gonna have to scroll for a while because it's pretty far down. I think I actually passed it. Yes, here we go. So this is over on Vanity Fair. I will leave a link to this article in the description. If you're watching this on BitChute or on Odyssey, on YouTube, I'm not going to run the risk. So, let's get into this. It's a subsection. It's a subheader called a real life controversy, and I'm going to read this word for word. I'm not going to intercut. I'm not going to intercut my own personal thoughts into this. So, let's get into here. Ahsoka does mean a great deal to people, and they're deeply invested in who she is. Blah blah blah. So, Rosaria, I want to ask you about something that's outside of the story of The Mandalorian, and that's the concern in the fandom about a lawsuit that was filed against you last year by a longtime family friend. And hold on, I'm going to have to intercut. When was this article published? Okay, November 30th, 2020 is when this article came out. But, okay, Okay, let's get right back to this. Okay, back to the claim. The claim accused you and other family members of being of anti-trans bias, and you've called the lawsuit false and baseless. But what do you say to those Star Wars fans who hear this and believe the worst, that you are transphobic? Dawson. Well, firstly, I just want to say I understand that and why people were concerned and are concerned. I would be too if I heard some of those claims. But I mean, as we're seeing right now in these past months and just recently, actually, the truth is coming out. Every single claim of discrimination has been dismissed by the person who made them. And as you've said, the fact that this is coming from someone I've known since I was a teenager, blah, 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 the better part of my life and who my family was trying to help, as we have many times in the past, blah, blah, blah. But I still have great empathy for him. Court records show 18 of... Hold on. I accidentally clicked on it. Okay. Court records show 18 of the 20 claims were withdrawn voluntarily without a settlement, and his lawyer left the case. 2 counts remain alleging a physical altercation, and a judge will rule on whether that can move forward next month. So this would have already passed, and I never looked into this. There are people that would say, well, this is just another example of wealthy, famous person overpowering the system. So what will you say to those people who are unconvinced both about this case and about who you actually believe, and about what you actually believe about trans people? Oh, shit. And then here comes Dawson. The reason that all of the discrimination claims were dropped is because they didn't happen. I was raised in a very inclusive. Yeah, this is basically the fucking apology tour. But yes, they actually did try to get Rosario Dawson, and to my knowledge, Rosario Dawson is still attached to the Ahsoka series. So it backfired. Basically, they were trying to get their heels in, and I'll expand on this by the end. But let's get back to the Hollywood Reporter article about Mandalorian star Gina Carano fired amongst social media controversy. Okay, I'm just making sure last November. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so back to the article. This is not the first time Carano, who played former Rebel Alliance soldier Cara Dune on The Mandalorian, has been the focus of social media ire of her political comments. Last November, she issued contentious tweets, one in which she mocked mask wearing amid the novel coronavirus pandemic. I wonder if they linked to it, because I never saw this. Oh, yeah, I see it. That's basically just nothing but a shit post at that point. Amid the novel coronavirus pandemic, and another in which she falsely suggests voter fraud occurred during the 2020 presidential election. So basically all she was guilty of was she was fucking shit posting on Twitter, which, I hate to break it to you, but we've all shit posted every now and then. Okay, here's another quote. They have been looking for a reason to fire her for 2 months, and today was the final straw. A source with knowledge of Lucasfilm's thinking tells The Hollywood Reporter. So, here's the important part right here. They've been looking for a reason to fire her for 2 months. Basically, if there's a company that wants you gone, they don't care how you get gone. They're gonna find any reason to basically cut ties with you, and it doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe her making that social media post probably didn't help, but at the same time, if she didn't do these political posts, they probably would have found another reason to cut her loose. And by the way, welcome to corporate America. If they want you to get gone, they're gonna find a reason for you to get gone. And it doesn't matter how major or how trivial either. So back to the article, The Mandalorian, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, because here it is. I'm actually going to read this full thing. The Mandalorian debuted on Disney Plus in November 2019. We all helped power the streaming service to impressive subscription numbers. Carano's Cara Dune became an instant fan favorite, and notice, even The Hollywood Reporter is admitting this. Cara Dune became an instant fan favorite, with the actor praised for bringing a calm strength to the role, but her tweets have also made her a controversial figure among Star Wars fandom. But I do love how they are admitting that she was a fan favorite. So it's not just me that's saying she's a fan favorite here. According to sources, Lucasfilm planned to unveil Carano as the star of her own Disney Plus series during a December Investors Day presentation. That was obviously the Disney Investor Day stuff, which I went over, but scrapped those plans following her November tweets. Multiple Mandalorian spin-offs are in the works from executive producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, including Rangers of the New Republic, which could have potentially starred Carano. Yeah, bye-bye all the hype to Rangers of the New Republic now that your fan favorite character is now gone. So, now you're fucked, because what are you going to do now? What are you going to sell Rangers of the New Republic on? What are you going to do? Bring fucking Bill Burr back? I mean, I personally wouldn't be against it, but the guy's supposed to be dead. Back to this, but after the latest round of social media posts, the decision to cut ties with the actor came swiftly, and then Carano came up with the world of MMA, blah, blah, blah. So, pretty much, this is, that's pretty much all this is. She basically was, just fucking shitposting. Was all it was, but that doesn't stop anybody else from getting involved. Coming from the Daily Beast, here's why Gina Carano was fired from The Mandalorian. And if you know anything about the Daily Beast, take everything with a grain of salt. I'm just reading this for comedic effect. Actress Gina Carano was swiftly fired from the hit Disney Plus series The Mandalorian on Wednesday night after she reshared a post that seemed to suggest having a different political view in 2021 was similar to being Jewish during the Holocaust. So she reshared it. Okay, I thought she posted it herself, but if all she did was share it, I don't get it right now. And I've already read this. Gina Carano is not currently employed. Blah blah blah. The Daily Beast has also exclusively learned that Carano was dropped by her publicists at ID in fall 2020 due to her social media activity. Okay, I mean, but that's your fucking publicists. Who fucking cares? Okay, here we go. The popular Star Wars franchise had finished Season 2, and Carano's character Cara Dune seemed poised for a return in some form. She had reportedly recently apologized in private to Disney for her posts in hopes that she could land her own spin-off series. Reported, we got this covered. Don't trust we got this covered. But here's the thing. If we're going to go back to this Hollywood Reporter article and scroll down, where was it? The source, a source with knowledge of Lucasfilm's thinking tells the Hollywood Reporter, they have been looking for a reason to fire her for 2 months. So the apology's not going to do jack fucking shit in that regard. Earlier in the day, fans took a social media call for the former MMA fighter to be axed. Carano has gone on a reposting spree, sharing memes that made fun of the mask mandate in California. Okay, I know a lot of people that did that. Compared former President Donald Trump's second impeachment trial to Groundhog Day, and claimed, get this, and claimed Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. The biggest fucking meme of 2018 was hashtag Epstein didn't kill himself. So she basically got that's all this is. Don't try to spin this any other way. She basically got fired for shit posting. And as a result of her getting fired, supposedly her Mandalorian Black Series figure has now been shit canned. And this comes to us from the Wrap. This was written on February 13th, 2021. Gina Carano's Cara Dune Mandalorian figure canceled by Hasbro. Hasbro, the toy brand behind the Mandalorian action figures and all Star Wars toys, has reportedly canceled Gina Carano's Cara Dune action figure amid the controversy over Carano's social media posts. A Twitter user posted the following screenshot on Friday from retailer Big Bad Toy Store. Now, I'm going to have to read the quote from the article because I tried to pull up the tweet itself, and the image is way too tiny for me to read. So you're just going to have to take my word for this. We're just going to have to trust this article. Quote, "We have been informed by Hasbro that they have canceled production of the Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch Cara Dune, The Mandalorian, and will not be fulfilling our order. Unfortunately, this means we must cancel our pre-orders for this item. We apologize for the inconvenience and greatly appreciate your understanding." End quote. The Wrap has reached out to Hasbro for comment, obviously. The former MMA fighter played Cara Dune on The Mandalorian. A search on Hasbro's store shows the current inventory of Cara Dune figures completely sold out. So this could be a cancellation, or people could have really, bought them up. But you know exactly what's going to happen with all of this now. Is that any of the Cara Dune Black Series figure or any Cara Dune action figure at this point, if you go onto eBay, let's go onto eBay right now, because for a fact that these prices are going to shoot up. Son of a bitch. Hold on. Here we go. I got it. Okay, Cara Dune. Here we go. Cara Dune action figures. Let's see. Yes, they have. Here we go. Star Wars Vintage Cara Dune 3.75 inches carbonite Mandalorian figure Gina Carano, $99.99. Here we go. Star Wars The Black Series Cara Dune Mint toy 6-inch scale. Here is the very figure that Hasbro canceled. $274.99. And I will try to leave now. Unfortunately, with eBay links, like once these get sold, they're not really guaranteed to stay up. So I'll try to grab screenshots and throw them up on the screen for you. But hold on, let me scroll down a little further because that was just the first two. So let's scroll down. Here we go. 2020 Hasbro Mandalorian Star Wars Vintage. Okay, $102.99. Hasbro Mandalorian Star Wars figure, $84.99. Oh, here's one that's a little more reasonable. Only $16. 2020 Hasbro, the 3.75 inch, $94.95. Star Wars Mission Fleet Cara Dune 2.5 inch, $19.99 plus $3.99 shipping. Star Wars Vintage, okay, this is the same, $89.98. Graphite figure new, $60. So obviously going for well more than the card value, because a lot of these, I think these are reaction figures. These the Vintage series, I think those were only going for like what, $10-15. I know the Black Series, they would go anywhere from like 20 to 25 bucks, but they were constantly on sale. But yeah, now you're talking, 60 to 100 bucks on this, on the Star Wars Vintage series alone. And then you have the Black Series of 275 bucks. 10 times the normal price you're going to pay in the stores. So, don't tell me that there was not a demand for Cara Dune at this point. And the funny part is, it's not like Gina Carano went unemployed longer than 5 minutes. This coming from the Hollywood Reporter on February 12th. Gina Carano hits back at critics after Mandalorian firing. Gina Carano has resurfaced after being fired from Lucasfilm. This was 2 days afterwards. The 38-year-old actor, best known for a role in Disney Plus series Mandalorian, said in a statement released Friday that she would be teaming up with the Daily Wire, the conservative website run by Ben Shapiro, to develop and produce a movie project. Now, I have my own issues with Ben Shapiro. I mean, whatever. I mean, Ben Shapiro is the type of guy that thinks if you talk really, really fast, that makes you sound intelligent. He's that kind of guy. He's the kind of guy that wants you to think like, hey guys, I'm really smart because I can talk really fast and I can cite all these sources like very, very quickly to the point where you can't fucking understand me and I'm not going to take a breath for 5 fucking minutes. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, but that does all that proves is you know how to read and you know how to memorize. It doesn't prove that you know. It doesn't prove that you understand jack fucking shit. And so here's a quote from Carano. Quote: "The Daily Wire is helping make one blah, 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 blah. If I can talk today after my Ben Shapiro impression. Holy shit, trying to talk that fast. The Daily Wire is helping make one of my dreams to develop and produce my own film come true. I cried out and my prayer was answered," Carano said in a statement to the Daily Wire. Quote: "I am sending out a direct message of hope to everyone living in fear of cancellation by the totalitarian mob. I have only just begun using my voice, which is now freer than ever before, and I hope it inspires others to do the same. They can't cancel us if we don't let them," end quote. And I think Bill O'Reilly said something to that same effect where maybe no, he didn't say something like this. No, he said something to the effect of that that America is going to come to regret this, trial by media era that we are all going through right now. I don't even remember what Bill O'Reilly was even let go from Fox for. Not that it really matters. But getting back to the article, the Hollywood Reporters reached out to Carano for further comment, and then it was announced Wednesday, blah, 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 said a Lucasfilm spokesperson, the actor, former MMA fighter, okay, da-da-da. Okay, that's okay, going over all the same shit. But, and to close this off, guys, it's not like that Disney has not made a cancellation for political reasons before. Who remembers Tim Allen's... Who remembers Last Man Standing? That was Tim Allen's most recent sitcom. I think it just finished airing its final season, or the final season is airing now on Fox. But the show was actually canceled the first time back in 2017. And to be fair, it's not like Disney and ABC owned the show; they licensed it from Fox. But what made the cancellation of Last Man Standing, so shocking was that at the time that Last Man Standing was canceled, Last Man Standing was the third most popular show on the ABC network. And I'm not talking just sitcoms. I'm talking all ABC shows in general. I think the only two shows to beat Last Man Standing in the ratings were Modern Family was number 1, Grey's Anatomy was number 2, and Last Man Standing was obviously number 3. And many people were wondering, it's like, why did they cancel Last Man Standing if it's performing that well? Well, and a lot of people felt that they canceled it because of Tim Allen, and I'm very much of that same opinion. You would rather you're gonna shit can a popular show for no other reason than the fact that you can't stand Tim Allen. And that really is it. And look, I have a lot of problems with Last Man Standing as well. I think that show got way too political for its own good. Versus his first sitcom, that was Home Improvement. Home Improvement is far superior. But, his politics aside, you cannot ignore that was a popular show. And, to close this off, I actually, no, before closing it off, I actually remember, who remembers the sitcom Two Broke Girls with Kat Dennings? I don't remember who the blonde was. But I do remember that once that show became, it wasn't number one on CBS, but it was within the top 10. People were trying to cancel that show too long before it ended because, oh my God, racist stereotypes. How dare you try to be funny? So the moral of this whole story of Gina Carano getting fired, and here's the moral of the story for the Walt Disney Company. Once your show gets to a certain point in popularity, you're not going to avoid controversy. It's damn near impossible because there are some people out there who legitimately have nothing better to do with their lives other than try to cancel shit. That way, that way, they can feel fulfilled in their lives. It happened with, Two Broke Girls. It happened with Last Man Standing. Hell, people try to get Rosario Dawson fired before the 5th episode of season 2 came out because, oh my God, did you hear that she was a transphobe? Disney, if you're trying to avoid any and all controversy, good fucking luck. Because there are people out there that will want to, if they can't find the controversy, they will create the controversy out of nothing. That way they basically get what they want. It's basically the crying baby that, doesn't get like the pack of Pokemon cards, that he wants, or, doesn't get the piece of candy. Why are you giving the crying baby the candy to shut the fuck up? Hasn't, like any fucking parent will tell you, any parent worth their salt will tell you that never fucking works. And honestly, I think, the fact that no executive has even came out to address this, Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, Kathy Kennedy, has not come out, it lends further and further to the claims that, Lucasfilm is a house divided, especially, and I'm going to bring this up again, quote, they have been looking for a reason to fire her for 2 months. A source with knowledge of Lucasfilm's thinking tells The Hollywood Reporter. This is just leading further credence to the claims that Lucasfilm and Disney is a house divided. And by the way, for all of you anti-fandom menacers out there that actually listen to me, they love making the point, like whenever fandom menacers make the claims, where is it in the trades that it's a house divided? Well, let's use the Hollywood Reporter article that they have been using for the past 2 years, titled, Bob Iger talks Disney streaming service, Roseanne, James Gunn, and a coming Star Wars slowdown, published on September 20th, 2018. And if we scroll down, this was purely an interview. Okay, here we go. I scrolled down a little too far. Okay, so let's read this word for word. Many people believe Disney should pump the brakes and not put out a Star Wars movie each year. So, Bob Iger replies, I made the timing decision, and as I look back, I think the mistake that I made, I take the blame, was a little too much too fast. You can expect some slowdown, but that doesn't mean we're not going to make films. J.J. Abrams is busy making episode 9. We have creative entities, including Game of Thrones creators Benioff and Weiss, which recently I think have been fired, who are developing sagas of their own, which we haven't been specific about. Sorry guys, got something caught in my throat. And we are just at the point where we're going to start making decisions about what comes next after JJ's. But I think we're going to be a little bit more careful about volume and timing, and the buck stops here on that. Notice that last line. That is what they're referring to. And the buck stops here on that. Basically, Bob Iger now made the claim, I'm going to take a more hands-on approach with this than I have with Marvel or Pixar, because Marvel and Pixar continue to make us money. Now, what is significant about September 20th, 2018? Well, hold on, let me make sure, because I know Solo came out that year, but when did Solo come out? I think it came out in May. I'm looking it up on IMDb right now. So if you hear my keyboard and mouse going, that's what it is. Okay, here we go. Yes, May 25th of 2018. Solo, a Star Wars story. Now, I already said this in my Solo video, but I'll reiterate here. Had its budget balloon to $275 million. I think unadjusted for inflation is one of, if not like the most expensive movie ever produced. And guess how much it grossed worldwide? $392,924,807. So, yeah, it's safe to say that Solo bombed. Solo was that movie that needed to make $1 billion at the box office just to break even, and that not saying that Solo would have turned a profit, but with Disney, if you're gonna lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and by the way, I don't even think that the budget even accounts for the marketing. The marketing probably put the budget up closer to about I would say about $400 to $500 million if I'm making just a conservative estimate on what the marketing budget was, because your marketing budget is going to have to almost match your production budget here, because all the money in the production budget typically doesn't account for the marketing, because all the marketing is done afterwards. So yeah, all these people that are saying, oh, where is it in the trades? Where is it in the trades? Well, it's right here that Bob Iger is taking a more hands-on approach. So for someone who's taking a more hands-on approach, he seems to be very hush-hush about the whole Gina Carano firing. And okay, guys, I'm actually gonna close it off with this, because I just remembered this. With regarding to the fact that Gina Carano was a fan favorite. If you guys remember back when Return of the Jedi was being produced, Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo killed off because he thought that would be great for the narrative, and George Lucas simply replied with, George Lucas was asked why didn't he kill off Han Solo, and he replied with something to the effect of, because there's no business in dead Han toys. Essentially, I cannot afford to kill off Han Solo because Han Solo is making me money. So, getting back to the eBay stuff, clearly Gina Carano, Cara Dune was making Disney money. So them killing off a fan favorite, I don't think that they can weather the storm. And even if they reverse the decision, if she's smart, I'm not saying that she's a dum-dum. I don't think that she's the biggest idiot in the world. I think she's going to demand a much higher salary if they want to bring her back at this point, knowing that she's clearly a fan favorite from The Mandalorian. And if you're a fan favorite, well, my price doesn't come cheap. And I'm going to go ahead and end it right here, guys, because I've gone on long enough. I've gone on for almost 35 minutes, and I think I've said all that needs to be said. So thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of TMRP, the Metropolis Radio Podcast, and I will see you guys next time.